Hi, this is Vicki with Crafting for Fun. Today I'm here to show you how I made this fun birthday card. This card is very quick and simple to put together. It uses a few basic cardstock supplies and just a very small amount of a pattern paper. I happen to be using a piece of paper from a stack by We Are Memory Keepers that I just absolutely love. And I think that this card is really fun and bright and happy and cheerful. So let me gather my supplies and I'll show you how I made this card. To make today's card, you'll need the following items. You'll need cardstock for your base card. This is Island Indigo by Stampin' Up, and this piece measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and it has been scored at 5 1/2 inches. You'll also need cardstock for your layers. This is Whisper White cardstock. It is 5 1/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches. And then I have another Island Indigo layer, and this one is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. I have a piece of designer paper. This is from We Are Memory Keepers, and I believe the name of the stack is Hip Hip Hooray. I just love these little birthday candles. Thought that went great. And then if you choose to decorate the inside of your card, you'll need a piece of cardstock to create a liner that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I just have a strip of the same designer paper from the Hip Hip Hooray stack that measures 3/4 inches by 5 1/4, and then 1 inch by 5 1/4 in the Island Indigo. And those are for the inside of your card. So this is optional. And in addition to that, you'll need some scraps of white, yellow, and red. And we'll talk more about what we're going to do with these in a moment. Now, as far as tools, you'll need the following punches. I'm using the extra wide oval punch by Stampin' Up. I'm using the decorative label punch by Stampin' Up, and I'm using the boho blossom punch by Stampin' Up. But you can substitute different punches that you may have in your own personal stash if you don't have these items. You'll need some ink. I'm using Island Indigo ink to go with my cardstock, so you'll need ink to match your cardstock, and then some type of a sentiment stamp. I'm using the Happy Birthday here from Perfect Punches, which is an older retired stamp set, so any sentiment that you have that you'd like to use that'll fit inside of the shape punch, and in my case I needed something that would fit inside of my extra wide oval punch. And in addition to that, you'll need your Big Shot machine, and I'm going to be using the Honeycomb embossing folder by Stampin' Up. So let me clear my space here and show you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to move these punches aside and bring my Big Shot machine into view. So I'm going to take my layer piece, my Island Indigo layer piece, and I'm going to put it inside of my Honeycomb embossing folder. And that's what's going to give me my dimension on the front of my card. I'm just going to put that in there straight. I'm going to sandwich that between 2 clear acrylic pads, and I'm going to open my Big Shot platform up to tab 1, and I'm going to run all of this through my machine. There we go. Really easy to do. And when I take that out, you'll see that it gives that paper some really nice texture and dimension. So I'm going to move my Big Shot machine aside, and I'm going to bring back my other pieces. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card base in half and use a bone folder to get a nice crease on that. And then I'm going to take my adhesive, pardon me, and I'm going to actually adhere my honeycomb layer to the white layer that goes beneath it. Now, there's only an 1/8 of an inch difference between these, so there's a very skinny border. Oops, I think I put adhesive on the wrong one. I did. That's for my inside layer. Nope, I was right. Thought I grabbed the wrong one. So there's a very skinny border around this. Those pieces are very close in size, and I thought perhaps I'd grabbed the wrong one. So there, I've centered that up, and now I'm ready to go ahead and put this on my card. So there's just a little skinny white border around this paper, but just enough to kind of set it off. I'm going to go ahead and center that on the front of my card. There we go. And now I'm going to take my piece of designer paper, and what I would normally do, I'm going to make a pennant, a little flag on the bottom of this, and what I would normally do is just cut up in the center about 3/4 of an inch to an inch, and then cut from each corner towards the middle. But in order to make this a little easier for you to see, and you do need to be careful because you want your candles to be facing up, what I did was I made myself a little cheater piece to help here, and I'm going to show you what I did. I cut a piece of cardstock, just some scrap, 7/8 of an inch wide, and then I marked a line at 7/8 of an inch up. And what I did was I laid that on top of my designer paper, like so, and I made a mark up, and I stopped when I got to that 7/8 of an inch line. So you'll see that's what I have there, just a little pin mark. And that's just going to help me know that I am cutting in the center and I am cutting up 7/8 of an inch. Then I'm going to go to the corner and I'm going to cut up to that line, and we'll go to the opposite corner and cut up to that line, and I get a perfect little flagged pennant on the bottom. Now, if you're not concerned about perfection, you don't need to be so fussy with that. You can just guesstimate the middle and cut, which is what I usually do, but I thought I would show you a way, because I know some people are kind of wigged out by the impreciseness of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the front of my card, and I'm going to come over about 1/4 of an inch from the right hand edge, and I'm going to line this up with the top of the white. So there is my piece applied to the front of my card. Now I'm going to take my scrap of white cardstock, and I would use my Island Indigo ink to stamp this sentiment on there, which I have already gone ahead and done. So there's my sentiment. And now all I need to do is just punch that out. So I'm going to take my punch, I'm going to center it over my stamped sentiment, punch that out. Now I'm going to take my scrap of red cardstock and my decorative label punch and punch out one of those shapes. And this is where I'm going to use some foam dimensionals. I'm going to use a couple on the back of this happy birthday sentiment. Pop that up. And I'm just going to center that in the middle of my red shape there. I'm going to turn that over, put a couple more on the back. And I'm going to add that right over my pennant shape. Now, just to bring in a little extra color, I'm going to take a scrap of yellow cardstock and my boho blossom punch, and I only want the smallest flower, so I'm just going to insert it from the side like so. Punch out one of those small flowers, get rid of those little scraps, and then I lay my little flower on top of a spongy foam pad, just a piece of stamping pad, and take the end of my paper piercing tool and just get it to kind of cup up, and then I add a pearl in the center of that. And so I've already created one of those here, and then I just put a glue dot on the back, and so mine is already on a glue dot, and I'm just going to stick that right there by my happy birthday sentiment. And so, oops, and so there I have a really, really cute card. And now if you choose to decorate the inside the way I am, I'm just flip that over, and I'm going to take those pieces that I told you about, the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. That's just going to go on the inside here. Just going to center that up inside of my card. Probably could have done a better job of lining that up, but I'll go with that. And then I'm going to take my pieces, my piece of designer paper, which is 3/4 of an inch wide by 5 1/4, and my 1 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece of Island Indigo, and I'm going to layer those together. There we go. And I'm just going to apply that to the inside of my card. And I'll just put that over here near the edge. So I just have a little decoration on the inside of my card. So a really fast and easy birthday card. Not difficult to make at all. If you enjoyed today's project, please check back for other crafting projects, or check out my blog, craftingforfun.blogspot.com, to see what I've done in the past. If you have any questions, please email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com. Thank you very much.